Hello, my name is Nicholas Vesely, and I'm going to be reviewing my sprint for my student innovation project for week 3 in Pro 2.11.0. It's the designing our prototype essentially. And my student innovation project goal is to create a GUI installer that can read most C++ libraries and then integrate them into Visual Studio. What does that mean? Well, essentially when you're a student and you have no idea what you're doing with Visual Studio, it's very daunting. We don't get a lot of help with regard to using plugins, and there's no point in reinventing the wheel. It's a common thing that we say as a programmer is don't reinvent things, use what other programmers have essentially bettered and optimized and created more than what you could ever do in a limited amount of time that you have. So what did I do this week essentially? Well, my goal was to log all the changes made by a developer when they're implementing 4 of the most popular C++ libraries into Visual Studio, just to get familiar with the process, to log everything down, make sure that I understand what it is and what it takes to do to put in a plugin, and then try next week when I do my next sprint to create a concept, a mechanical way of programming and covering most of these libraries and getting them installed and helping the user. And even if we can't get them fully installed, just to guide the user through and help them, understand what they're doing and to be able to think the way that you have to once you're a more advanced user, so that you can integrate these quickly and efficiently. So what did I do this week? I downloaded all the files that you need. I got Visual Studio installed. I downloaded and I installed it, and then I downloaded all the plugins, the libraries that I would need. And I'll go ahead and show you the folder that I made. This is the folder. Here are the 4 libraries essentially, and this will contain a project folder and a download folder. So the download is the actual download that you get from the website that has these C++ libraries, and then I just essentially extract the folder like any other user would probably do. So I did that, got them in there, and then I went about actually, I made the project folder. This is the actual projects in Visual Studio. This is what they look like. And then I went about integrating them and seeing, what's the steps for one by one of putting these actually into an actual project. And I logged every step of the way essentially. So now I've got over here, if you look, I've got the installation process is what I call them for each of these directories or each of these libraries. I apologize. So Allegro, here's what you have to do for Allegro. Extract it, search for the include folder, search for the lib folder, add them to their specific places inside of Visual Studio, which is, if you don't know where it is, you have to right click on the actual project, go to properties. Here's these directories right here and right here. And then here's a linker as well that has to be added, which is search the lib folder and add the lib folder to the linker/input. That's this. Make sure it's on there. And you have to get the right one. So some of these libraries, if you didn't get the right one, it wouldn't work. So it's something I have to consider in my next sprint is how am I going to do it if we can't search for every single library, know exactly what you need to find, what it lib. So maybe we guide the user along and help them with that. But it's doable. It's a hurdle, but I think we can address it. And then we have the this one, which was specific to adding this specific DLL that matches the lib folder that is actually in the folder or inside of the zip that you get, which is right here. So this lib, and there's a ton of them. This is why this is so necessary, and this is a benefit to programmers everywhere, is because you look at this and you have no idea, and then you got to go search through websites and forums and different aspects, different YouTube tutorials, whatever you can find to try to get it to actually integrate or to troubleshoot your compile time errors. So I think it'll be a big help being able to reduce this down to, we're going to be guiding you along, or we're going to do it for you as much as possible, and then if we come into an error, then you might have to address it and help the program along. But it's much easier to do an installer than it is to install these one by one, taking time and trying to find the solutions to the problems that you're getting. So I did that for Allegro, and then I did it for Lua, which there's a lot of commonalities. Usually it's these last 3 that are very similar that I think our installer can handle. And then there's some specific tasks, but they're more language specific. The user should have to know that or figure that out. That's not something the installer might carry, but we might guide them along if we can. DirectX, same thing. And the DirectX installer logged all these. And Boost Boost was much more simpler, but Boost doesn't include an include folder. It includes a Boost folder. So just there will be hurdles to have next week. But essentially, I got all the information I needed to kind of conceptualize what it is I need to do in the next sprint so that I can actually have something programmable that will help the user. That's all the time I'm going to spend. Thank you for your consideration. I appreciate your time. Have a nice day.